What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Saved by the Code, where I talk about all things cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Hope you're all doing well out there in this crazy crypto world. Um, yeah, let's just get going. Um, I think something that is on a lot of people's mind is, why is Bitcoin's price not $4 million right now after the ETF approval? And this is believed to be because of a large amount of Bitcoin being sold by what's called Greyscale. And it is a trust where they own a lot of Bitcoin. And you can gain exposure to Bitcoin without having to actually buy physical Bitcoin. And they are selling off a lot of their Bitcoin. And the reason being is because it says here, before the spot Bitcoin ETF approval, BTC Grayscale Bitcoin used to redeem its shares by giving investors US dollar value, but they never sold the Bitcoin. And that's why Grayscale become one of the largest Bitcoin holders besides Satoshi. Now with the spot Bitcoin ETF approval, prior to the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF, Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust would redeem its shares by providing investors with the US dollar value without actually selling the underlying Bitcoin. This practice contributed to Grayscale becoming a massive holder of Bitcoin, rivaling even Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin. However, the landscape has shifted with the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF. Investors are now withdrawing their money from Grayscale, influenced by two primary factors. Firstly, Grayscale charges a 1.5% yearly management fee, which is like 5 to 6 times higher than many other ETF issuers. And many investors who previously bought GPTC shares at a 40% discount are seizing the opportunity to exit their positions now that the discount has narrowed to zero. So, Grayscale is selling a lot of their Bitcoin to make their investors whole, and it's like hundreds of millions of dollars a day, which is suppressing the price. But this won't last forever because their liquidity is going to dry up, and there's not infinite Bitcoin out there. And so once this happens, I believe the Bitcoin price will go up a lot. And the fact that it's holding these levels at $40,000, even with all this selling going on, it shows strength in the market. And yeah, so that is a large reason as to why Bitcoin's price isn't really moving much, in combination with over-the-counter trading, which is where these Blackrock and all these other ETF issuers buy large amounts of Bitcoin at one set price. So it makes sense, they'll buy 10,000 Bitcoin at one set price, not moving the market, as opposed to going on to Coinbase and buying 10,000 Bitcoin, but experiencing what's called slippage, which means they'll buy Bitcoin at differing prices as opposed to just one price. So in combination with those factors, that's why a lot of people believe the price isn't moving much. But when that liquidity drives up, you better believe that price will go up. So yeah, that's one of the reasons, or many of the reasons, as to why people believe the price of Bitcoin isn't moving much. But it will. Just have faith. Be patient. Alright, next story here. SEC DOJ charge individuals in $1.9 billion hyperfund cryptocurrency fraud. It says here that the SEC is taking legal action against individuals involved in a massive $1.9 billion cryptocurrency fraud encompassing a wide range of wide-reaching schemes known as hyperfund, also referred as hyperverse, hypertech, and hypercapital. The DOJ announced criminal charges against two key figures, and the guilty plea of a third is in what is being described as a global Ponzi scheme. It's so ridiculous because banks are Ponzi's. The entire US dollar is a Ponzi scheme, yet they don't get charged for anything at all, ever. JP Morgan manipulates the gold market, all that good stuff. And so it's just another joke of an example of a total joke of a world that we live in, going after crypto stuff but not going after banks or anything. And so yeah, going after crypto stuff again, not going after the actual criminals called banks. Next story here. Standard Chartered expects SEC to approve spot Ethereum ETFs in May, pushing Ethereum to $4,000. I would think it would be a good idea to buy Ethereum, not financial advice, because it is probably going to be the next logical ETF. It only makes sense. And it says here these factors should make ETH less vulnerable than Bitcoin to a post-approval sell-off. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason as to why that wouldn't happen. And so stock up on your Ethereum, people, not financial advice, but it seems to me that that would be the next logical ETF here. Next story. Visa enables crypto withdrawals on debit cards in 145 countries. That's awesome. I mean, the adoption of crypto now, it is mainstream. I mean, the ETF approval, Visa enabling crypto withdrawals on debit cards in 145 countries. It's huge. I mean, it's mainstream now. Grandma can buy Bitcoin with the ETF. It's here. And you can't make it illegal now. You can't call people drug dealers. You can't call them terrorist financiers. I think it's 0.3% of total crypto transactions are illicit, so that argument is out the window. And this stuff is happening all the time, every day. And it's just a matter of time before we see numbers in the six figures for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Next story, Fidelity Bitcoin ETF rakes in reported $208 million, offsetting Greyscale outflows alone. Yeah, Fidelity loves Bitcoin, and they are raking in the money off of these fees. And they also are interested in launching an Ethereum ETF here. I think they filed for one, but the good old SEC's got to take their good old time, because they got to overlook all their documents and make sure it's a safe and this and that and whatever. They're just delaying it for no reason. Yeah, it's crazy to see these the biggest conglomerates in the world are interested in this Bitcoin thing that came out 15 years ago, and it makes sense because they just want to make money. That's all they care about. They don't care about decentralization or making your life better. They just want money. So yeah, cool to see. I mean, this is all inevitable that Wall Street was going to get involved with Bitcoin. A lot of Bitcoin maxis don't like it, but it's inevitable. It was going to happen. There's not a world that we live in where this isn't going to happen. And it's good for us, investors. Price go up. So I'm all for it. Why people still think Bitcoin will die is the next story here. If you're going to prove it, yeah, I mean, the price targets of a lot of people say that it's going to go to over $150,000. And I mean, the decentralization of Bitcoin alone, how massive the network is, I mean, that's not going anywhere. Bitcoin will always be something. It'll always be a thing. Bitcoin is going to die. How exactly will that happen? Who's going to shut it down? There's no person or company with a kill switch for Bitcoin's open source code base, so you're suggesting it will happen organically. via the collective actions of everyone involved in it. You think every single one of the tens of millions of people who've invested time and effort into it, the miners, the developers, the investors, the users, none of who has any way of coordinating with each other is going to simultaneously walk away from it. Okay. Yeah. These people that think Bitcoin's going to die, I don't know what planet they're living on or what they're smoking, but it's here to stay. Unless you shut down the internet, which if the internet goes down, then yeah, we're in big trouble. Anyways, so it's like it goes down, all of a sudden, Bitcoin will be worthless, cash will be worthless, and bullets and food will be the most worthful thing, worthful, whatever word I'm looking for. So yeah, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Anthony Scaramucci predicts Bitcoin to hit at least 170k post halving. Yes, I would agree with that. Maybe not that quickly, but prices going up. I think we're at the beginning of the bull run here. If $40,000 is the new low, it's crazy. Like, I mean, Bitcoin couldn't be in a better position to achieve these higher numbers. I mean, the ETF, the halving, the decentralization of the network, the amount of venture capital going into the industry, it's unstoppable at this point. And I just don't see the logic in people who think that Bitcoin is going to fail and go nowhere, because you can't outlaw it. The ETF exists. Can't call people drug dealers, can't call people terrorist financiers because you're calling grandma and grandpa terrorist financiers and drug dealers now because of the ETF. So, my oh my. Good luck with that. Next story, China emerging as surprising source of Bitcoin demand. Yeah, China, I mean, all fiat currencies are absolute trash, and we need something new, and Bitcoin is that new thing. Apparently, Chinese investors are in panic mode as their stock markets crash, some returning to Bitcoin's store of value, an exciting investment thesis. And I do not blame them. And this is happening all over the world. And every day, Bitcoin gets stronger. Every single day. And like I say, it is a risk not to have any. Whatever your situation is, whether you put $1 in, $10, $100, $1,000, everyone's situation is different. Just not having any is a risk, you know? And it is a lifeboat in these crazy times we live in. I mean, you can buy gold, but what are you going to make on gold? 5%? It's a lot harder to store. It's physical. It's just, Bitcoin is better at gold than gold is. Next story here, Blackrock spot Bitcoin ETF volume topping GBTC today. Grayscale Bitcoin signaling market shift. Bitcoin pumps over $43,000 as GBTC selling pressure weakens. Yes, they're running out of liquidity, GBTC, and so price be going up. And Blackrock's been buying tons of Bitcoin. That's how they have had a total gross inflows of over 5.8 billion. Let's see this. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of volume. Bitcoin is second to gold with regards to assets under management, and that's huge. That's massive. You know, I mean, this thing that came out, what, 15 years ago, is now the second largest Bitcoin ETF with assets under management. That's huge. That is so massive. And I think it only has, it's only been out for what, a week or two, and it's already seeing these numbers. That's mind blowing. I mean, you just look at the data, people. and you'll just see that Bitcoin is going to the moon. Alright folks, that does it for this video. I know it was a shorter one, but I kind of want to balance them out a little bit, make some shorter ones, make some longer ones, but I deeply appreciate y'all tuning in and listening to me. Let's check out the market here. I know some of you may not want to see the prices, but Bitcoin is holding strong at $43,000, even with all his selling pressure from Greyscale. Once that dries up, it's going up. It's going up. Not financial advice, but it is going up. Man, oh man, Tether is still at $1. $1, folks. Oh, 99.8 cents. Great buy right now. Tether going to $1.01. Man, I'd get into it. Not financial advice, but I'm just kidding, because Tether is always at $1. It's a stable coin. But alright folks, I appreciate y'all listening, tuning in, and until next time, I bid you farewell on your cryptocurrency journey.